SlapViper.
Hi there. You found this video, you're probably trying to find a new wrestling promotion to watch. Wrestling has never been better, despite what critics might say. There has never been more wrestling than there is right now. And today, I'm going to take you on a journey to getting started with Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, or simply known as TJPW. TJPW has become one of my favorite promotions of all time due to their character work and the cast of wrestlers you love to cheer for. If you want to get into TJPW, then please join me today as I give you the rundown of the roster, sort of ideology behind things, and sort of the other sorts of events and tournaments and whatnot that go along with this promotion. If you don't know why I love TJPW so much, you can check down in the pinned comment below, where I'll also have links to their site, the roster page, and any other information that you might need. But in short, it's a promotion that takes a more fun approach to wrestling while also having great work rate in the process. Everyone has their quirks and something that makes them stand out from the others, and it can be moves or attires or just little funny things about their personality or just little things they do in the ring that make them stand out. It's kind of hard not to find at least one wrestler that you don't like here. As of recording, they're in the middle of their Princess Cup, where the winner earns a Princess Championship opportunity at Wrestle Princess later in the year. That is one of their big tournaments that they do yearly, where the other being the Max Heart tournament, which is a tag team tournament, single elimination for all these, by the way, where the winning team gets a tag team championship match at Grand Princess. The last winners of those tournaments were Miyu Yamashita winning the Tokyo Princess Cup in 2023, last being Yuki Kamifuku to win, and Daisy Monkey winning the Max Art 2024 tournament earlier in the year, last beating Daydream to win. The current champions at the moment are Miyu Watanabe as the Princess champion, Daisy Monkey as the Princess Tag Team champions, and Yuki Arai as the International Princess champion, all in their first reign, this being cited as the new era. TJPW's roster consists of 27 wrestlers, and I will go over all of them right now in alphabetical order and some things I find interesting about them. So Arisu Endo is a personal favorite of mine due to her cheerfulness and her raw power. Has some insane moves and strength for a woman of her size, like that double jump dropkick that she does, or even the Hercules cutter. And she's someone that I really recommend watching for a smile that can warm your heart, but a vicious moveset and a insane camel clutch that will break your back. Chika Nanase is a rookie, so I can't say too much about her whole character, but from what I've seen from her, she's been very impressive so far. Haru Kazushiro is among one of the youngest members of the roster at only 16 years old, but has slowly become one of my favorite wrestlers right now because of how much she has improved with this fast-paced, technical style. Aruna Neko, as of recording, is out injured at the moment, but if you love cats and eye scratches and someone who can even do a roll-through code breaker, then you'll be a big fan of her. Himawari is another one of my favorites due to how cheerful she is, but also how aggressive she can be. Just her shoulder tackles just hit so hard. She can hit her opponents with her hair or even just cradle tossing them, mixed with how downright funny she can be. She's another one I highly recommend. Hyper Misao is also out injured at the moment, but is possibly the funniest wrestler in TJPW. This gimmick of this spoof of 70s superheroes getting eaten up at every turn by the fans and critics alike, with some of the crazy spots including lightsabers, cold spray, and even firearms. I still say she's a criminal, but that's my cross to bear at this point. Hayato Abami is everyone's favorite Kasawari. She's slowly gained more stock this year after being stuck in the lower card for a very long time, but she's one of the most underrated on the roster. Kira Summer hails all the way from Australia, and a little bit of a fun fact, before she joined TJPW, she used to train with a friend of mine that I knew from playing the WWE video games for years on end, in different e-feds and whatnot. So Kira will always hold a special place in my heart for that. Maho Kuru, everyone's favorite anxiety-riddled mahjong player. She's my pick for the funniest on the roster, honestly, because of the consistent harassment this woman gets in matches, yet can still find a way to be sorry to her opponents. Maki Ito was my first exposure to TJPW, as I'm sure it was for a lot of people. Her loud and brass nature mixed with a very fun in-ring style of the hard-headedness of Maki and just the willingness to go crazy makes her stand out. Even if she doesn't compete in TJPW as regularly anymore, she still is one of my favorites, and we all love Ito-chan. Ii Watanabe is someone I've talked intensively about my love for her, but to boil it down, she's a lovable Care Bear who harbors the mind of a psychopath and the body and strength of Arnold Schwarzenegger, who can swing you 10 ways to Sunday. Miyu Yamashita is the ace of TJPW and someone that I'm also sure got a lot of people into TJPW. Having won their top prize more than anyone, she's a standout performer to new viewers, and even if she isn't competing in TJPW as regularly anymore, like some of the others on this list, we still will show praise to everyone's favorite pink striker. Make sure you watch her head because she will take it off. Don't forget about that. Mizuki is the person that you see go viral on Twitter all the time, who does that spinning move, and also people mistake her from Lily from Tekken. She's a standout for sure, and someone who can play that serious underdog role or even just dicking around in a comedy match. Mizuki is loved and appreciated by everyone, even the people who never watch wrestling. Oka Miyamoto is someone who I slowly gained a lot more admiration and respect for. For a bit, I'm gonna admit I did see her as boring for a bit. I'll admit that, but she has picked up a lot recently and has really impressed me with her work that she's done so far, and also she does the final cut, so I kind of have to be a fan of her. Pam Harajuku is what happens when you mix a clown and a possessed demon child from hell. She's a brat in every sense of the word, with her screaming, flailing around, her shin kicks, and her taunting her opponents at every turn. She's what happens when you max out all your points in trickery. Raku is God, and you will have to accept that. A woman with a love for trains and sleeping, like Pam Harajuku, she's a master of trickery, but don't let that poofy yellow dress fool you. She hoops like prime Dennis Rodman. Rika Tatsumi is what happens when you mix Michael Myers, the pyro from Team Fortress 2 with the voice of an angel and an ass harder than diamonds. The White Dragon is among one of my favorites in wrestling in general, due to her wrestling ability and her pure insanity of a character. Bruno Okubo is everyone's favorite jellyfish and is the youngest member of the roster, being a few months younger than Haru Kazushiro. She's built like an absolute tank and has some of the stiffest and most snug forearms smashes in the world right now, not even just in TJPW. They're so incredibly loud, and her style of power and strength make her stand out. Even when she has to leave for school and take breaks from wrestling, it doesn't seem like it has any effect on her progress, really, and that's something that makes her stand out. Namba is the greatest ring announcer since Howard Finkel. How can you not love her? And also, she even won the DDT Ironman Heavy Metal Championship. That's awesome. Chino Suzuki, the former tour guide turned pro wrestler, might be looking at the lights more than winning, but she has shown a lot of intensity and someone who I feel as if is going to be a major player in TJPW. She just has everything for it: the smile, the intensity, the selling factor. But to be fair, that's just my theory. Shoko Nakajima is the biggest kaiju at 147 centimeters and as a highlight of TJPW with her vibrant personality and one of the most fun movesets on the roster. Make sure you watch out for that 619 and make sure you watch out for that diving senton from the top rope. It's absolutely insane. Suzume is another one of my personal favorites, with her selling being akin to the likes of Ricky Steamboat and Bryan Danielson. With an infectious smile, she lives the quote, "float like a butterfly, sting like a bee," perfectly. Toga is is another newish member on the roster, with the forearm that would make Takeshita proud and a rolling thunder that shows she is really one of a kind. Uda Takami is the newest member of TJPW, who possesses some of the funniest selling I've ever seen from a wrestler, mixed with an admiration for Mii Watanabe that only I rival. We must be a fan. Wakana Uehara has broken out amongst fans all around the world due to her social media presence and her charm as a performer. A smile you can't help but love, and a stomach that can't help but eat. She eats a lot. Like, it's insane. Like, I'm probably gonna show pictures here. She eats a lot, but like she also is like really like fit. It's crazy. Yuki Ano is another powerhouse wrestler that I love. For the love of God, don't let her catch you in a gut wrench. That will not end well for you or anyone involved. Yeah. Please watch out because it's not going to end well for you. Yuki Arai is also a member of SKE48, so her time in wrestling is sparse, but her in-ring action makes up for it with wild facial expressions and a moveset full of exciting moves. She even does a scorpion deathlock so good that the Hart family had to steal it from her. Yuki Kamifuku, aka Kamiyu, is a glamorous and cocky model, but don't let that exterior fool you because she means business and she doesn't care how she takes you down. She doesn't even care if she has to use her long legs or her long arms or even a bit of cheating. Everyone falls to the flaky queen. To watch TJPW, you must be subscribed to Wrestle Universe, and in the process, you also get 8 other wrestling shows for the very low price of 1,290 yen a month, which translates to about $8.60 for my American folks. For your other conversions, you're gonna have to figure that out. The way I always did this is link my bank account or a card, either or, to PayPal and pay from there. I found that to be the easiest way, as some banks in America don't do international purchases. From there, you can check out their website that shows results and news, their Twitter that shows news too, and if you have some extra money, you can even buy some of the merch at their merch store. All those will be down in the pinned comment. The shows I recommend checking out if you want to get a good sense of everyone's character and sort of a good launching point with everything. But I would recommend checking out Yes Wonderland 2024 and Grand Princess 2024, which were their biggest shows this year so far. Grand Princess was first, followed by Yes Wonderland, if that helps with anything. They usually do one show per week, sometimes more, but it obviously just depends. TJPW doesn't do many of those dangerous type of bumps like the neck bumps or always go at a million miles a minute like some other matches and promotions will do, but of course there's nothing wrong with that. There's also nothing wrong with those type of matches. There's nothing wrong with the matches that TJPW does. Nothing wrong with that, of course, but to me this is a different style that TJPW does from a lot of other companies that I feel as if they have managed to do extremely well. Going into this promotion, we'll see stuff that is more comedy based, like DDT is. And if that isn't for you, then me personally, I cannot recommend this to you. Because a lot of the identity of the characters and the people in it, it kind of relies on like their sort of quirks and their personality. Some people are just really naturally like funny, and you can kind of see it in their in-ring style, in their promo style and whatnot. Like, of course, like with Rika Tatsumi, like I was saying earlier, or just sort of like the 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 awkwardness of someone like Haruka Shiro, but being able to sort of break out of that shell as she does, or with someone like Maki Ito or other people on the roster who are also just very quirky and funny individuals. They kind of need people to understand that different sort of side of wrestling. But of course, if you don't mind the funnier slash quirkier side of wrestling mixed with people who are also supremely great wrestlers, then please be welcome. And that right there is my guide on getting into Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling slash TJPW. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, then don't be afraid to comment below those concerns, questions, or comments or whatever. And I'll make sure to reply to you. And if I don't reply to you, I'm sure someone will. One last note before I go. Um, Never be overbearing about a promotion. This isn't just about TJPW or Joshi promotion. This is about every promotion. AEW, WWE, TNA, ROH, whatever promotion. It doesn't matter. We all have stuff that we like and dislike. Even about our favorite promotions. I mean, there are criticisms that I have about TJPW, but I think everyone as a fan of a promotion, whether it be any promotion, should also have valid criticisms about it. And of course that's perfectly okay. We're humans. We're allowed to feel stuff that we don't think is right or that we may look at differently. And of course, as long as you stay respectful and you have legitimate concern and reasoning and it isn't coming from a place of tribalism or coming from a place of trying to make others feel bad for what they like, then of course give those concerns, give those thoughts, give those critiques, and da 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 da, and that's perfectly okay. Wrestling is better when there's more variety, and in a way, um, it's nice in a way to kind of see people be so passionate about wrestling. But of course, we want people to be encouraged to watch more wrestling and not discouraged, of course. So always to make sure, enjoy what you want, don't be overbearing, and encourage, don't discourage. Thank you all so much for watching. Buy W and use code SlapViperLLC at checkout for 10% off your W order. Donate to my coffee below if you want. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. This is Quincy of SlapViperLLC, and I will talk to you all later. Take care.